Welcome back to our channel where we take a look at some of the most popular private jets and dive into their features. Today, we're getting acquainted with Cirrus Vision SF50, otherwise known as the Vision Jet. This is an amazing personal jet that is considered among the easiest and cheapest ways to access the private aviation world. This marvelous piece of tech is both fun and elegant, with some of the best features in the jet world at a seriously more accessible price tag. So, let's explore the characteristics of this little marvel. First, we'll explore the specs and intricacies of the Vision, and then delve into the real price of owning the jet. Before we get on to that, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. It helps us a lot with the YouTube algorithm and lets us know that we are helping to enrich lives out there. If you are into aviation, have a look at our new aviation compilation channel, Aviation Central. It is the first link in the description. We would highly appreciate it. And without any further ado, let's get on to the video. Cirrus started to develop what would later become the Vision SF50 in 2003, which later in 2006 was announced and teased to the public under the project name The Jet. The Vision started its first test flights in 2008 and stuttered slightly due to financial issues related to the financial crisis, but ultimately concluded in the beginning of 2014. In April 2015, Cirrus started production on the first of the 550 jets that were already ordered, and which completed its maiden flight on May 5, 2016. On December 19, 2016, the first customer Vision SF50 was delivered, out of 600 orders. The new $16 million, 70,000 square foot finishing center in Duluth, where Cirrus employs more than 750 workers, had the first customer delivery ceremony. The Vision SF50 is a low-wing cantilever monoplane with Williams FJ33 4A19 turbofan engine, which is positioned above the rear fuselage and which generates 1,900 pound per foot of torque. The overall design of the jet is elegant and gracious and is comprised entirely of composite material, a first when it comes to production jets. The rear fuselage of the SF50 has a distinct look with the jet's engine sitting on a stylish V-shaped tail. The cabin, which is 5.1 feet or 1.56 meters wide and 4.1 feet or 1.24 meters high, can be accessed through a clamshell door on the left of the aircraft and can accommodate up to 7 occupants. One of the most interesting and innovative characteristics of this jet is the fact that it is the first to ever be equipped with a whole aircraft ballistic parachute, the Cirrus Airframe Parachute System, or CAPS. In some of Cirrus's previous piston-engine aircraft, such as the SR-22, this system deployed from the aft of the cabin. The jet caps used for the SF-50 instead deploy from the nose of the jet. Pat Waddick, Cirrus President of Innovation and Operations, told reporters at the National Business Aviation Association meeting in Orlando that the parachute project was so tough to implement that the company almost gave up on it. Today, it is one of the best-selling points when it comes to the SF-50, as it provides a level of security unequaled to this day by other manufacturers in the private jet world. The Vision Jet is a very light jet with a top speed of 300 knots true airspeed and 28,000 feet maximum altitude certification, and has a range of 1,000 nautical miles or 1,852 kilometers. While it will accommodate 7 people, Pat Waddick, President of Innovation and Operations, claimed it can easily sit 5 people in the forward cabin, with 2 little seats accessible in the back of the aircraft. Now, let's have a look at the cockpit. Cirrus Perspective Touch, a variation of the Garmin G3000 cockpit, attempts to transition Cirrus piston customers into the jet environment. For example, the switches are practically all in the same spot. These similarities take nothing away from the modernity of the SF50 cockpit, as the jet panel, on the other hand, has a number of synoptic pages for monitoring and managing the jet systems. The pilot can control all the navigation and communication systems, which are displayed on the large primary and multifunction displays by using a set of small touchscreens. Make sure to watch to the end as we dive deeper into the real price of owning the Vision SF50. The Cirrus Vision SF50 launched in 2016 with a price tag of $2 million. Today, a new SF50 costs $1.96 million, or $1,700,000 on average for a pre-owned aircraft. This makes the SF50 significantly cheaper than its competition, $750,000 cheaper than the Citation M2, and over $2 million cheaper than a Phenom 100E or Honda Jet HA420. As with any aircraft, there are two types of costs you're going to want to pay attention to: fixed cost and operating cost. First, let's have a look at the fixed cost breakdown. The following costs are fixed and are to be expected regardless of the number of hours flown per year. One of the most significant expenditures when it comes to aircraft operation is the salaries of crew members. Naturally, the crew is an essential aspect of the aircraft's functioning. Your plane will not take off until you have pilots on board. In addition, crew members are critical to the safe operation of your aircraft. As a result, it's critical to ensure that your crew members are properly qualified and skilled. The higher the crew's expertise level, however, the higher the wage they seek. One advantage of the SF50, however, is that it can be operated by just one pilot, without the need for a flight captain. This can drastically cut the cost of the crew, and that cost can also be completely negated if you're behind the controls. It is critical to have well-trained crew personnel. They are, once again, critical to your aircraft's safe and effective functioning. Even if you count on flying this plane yourself, you will have to invest both time and money to obtain a flying license. However, by flying the jet yourself, you won't have to pay your pilot extra for every type rating they have, as pilots are paid higher hourly depending on their qualifications. While it is not in the air, your aircraft will hopefully be stored safely on the ground. Here, there are two options: hangars and tie-downs, with tie-downs being cheaper but leaving the jet to the mercy of the elements for extended periods of time, which in turn decreases its value and increases maintenance cost. If the government requires you to insure your 2019 Honda Civic, you know they're going to do so for a $2 million aircraft. Here, two essential types of insurance are needed: liability insurance, which offers coverage against loss, damage, or injury to passengers, cargo, and baggage, and hull insurance, which is determined in function of the value of the aircraft in question. Here, we put an estimate of any surprise costs that might arise, which is something you should expect when owning a private jet. When flying a private jet, fuel expenses are a considerable hourly expense. The longer time you spend flying, the more gasoline the plane consumes. Of course, depending on the aircraft's average hourly consumption, measured in gallons per hour, the quantity of fuel it consumes every hour would vary substantially. The Cirrus Vision SF50 consumes about 50 gallons of fuel per hour. Maintenance is required at regular periods to guarantee that airplanes are safe to fly. These intervals are based on the manufacturer's recommendations. The more the aircraft flies, the more maintenance it will require. This cost also includes any unanticipated maintenance occurrences. A bird attack or a blown tire, for example, will need an unexpected maintenance check. An engine overhaul is a planned event that entails the engine's maintenance and examination. This is a bit more serious than a cursory visual assessment, as the phrase overhaul implies. In the case of a substantial engine overhaul, the engine must be completely disassembled and inspected. The longer an engine is utilized, the more wear and tear it will endure, similar to how the airframe is maintained. As a result, the higher the number of hours flown, the sooner an engine overhaul is necessary. Furthermore, the more hours flown, the more often an engine overhaul is required. The handling costs, as well as handling and crew fees, all depend on the route followed. As a result, providing an exact estimate is difficult. During a lengthy stay, the crew is paid crew fees. As a result, they will vary accordingly to the location and duration of stay. When you arrive at an airport, you will be charged a landing fee. The cost is calculated based on the weight of the aircraft. Furthermore, landing costs differ by airport, with bigger airports costing more than less busy airports. Additionally, when arriving at an airport, there are additional handling costs to pay. These costs cover parking, baggage unloading, and other services, and are determined in part by the size of the airport and aircraft. Miscellaneous variable expenses and miscellaneous fixed costs are fairly similar. There will always be some unexpected charges, no matter how carefully you plan and budget. If you were to fly 200 hours per year on the SF50, you would expect the following costs: total fixed cost, including the payment and training of the crew, hangar cost, insurance, and others, amount to $179,000. Total operating cost, which include fuel cost, maintenance, engine overhaul, and others, amount to $146,000 per 200 flight hours per year. The total annual budget for flying a Cirrus Vision SF50 private jet 200 hours per year is approximately $325,400. These numbers place the Cirrus Vision SF50 among the cheapest options when it comes to operating costs. In fact, the operating cost of similar aircraft from Cessna and Honda Jet are almost double that of the SF50. Well guys, that's it for this video. Click the links above to check out some of our other videos. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. We have many great videos coming up. See you in the next video.